What's up, guys? It's your man Donovan Sharpe, and I'm doing a not gonna do a studio show today. I'm gonna do I guess just a quick live stream here next to my studio. I'll be back in the studio tomorrow doing my thing. Anyway, so I had a consultation client fairly recently. I'm actually still in contact with this guy, but of course, people consult me about their relationships. To make a very long story very short, he and this girl had been together for a while. His value was higher than hers. In many many ways, he made a lot of money. She didn't make quite as much. She didn't make quite as much money. He's in his 30s, and so is she. So if a man is in his 30s and a woman is in is in her 30s, he is going to be higher value. He's a great looking guy, has a nice place, can do anything he wants. Anyway, so over the years, I think over the last, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years, they've sort of dated on and off. And listen, you guys know how it goes. We've all been in those relationships where you get together, you break up, you get together, you break up. You hear about these things all the time. We've all had these relationships. You guys have had them. I've had them. Nothing new. Of course, he'd sleep with, during breaks, he'd sleep with other women. She would sleep with other men. But, somehow they always ended up back together. Now, this particular chick, like a lot of girls in the States, scores of red flags. She was diagnosed with, I think, anxiety and like another disorder. I forgot what it was. She'd been engaged twice before she got with him. I think they were engaged at one point. She did all kinds of other crazy stuff. She hacked his bank account, went through his phone, all this other kind of crazy stuff. But she did have her good traits. I mean, he did keep her around. He did love her for a reason. She cooked well. The sex was always great. She loved him fiercely. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she also helped him with his endeavors, like some of his projects. I'm not sure if I'm getting that mixed up with somebody else. But the point is, the point is that she, like most women, she had her good traits, she had her bad traits, but the good outweighed the bad for a while, which is why they had a relationship in the first place. Now, their relationship, like all relationships that are on and off, they would eventually, it came to a head, and this is when he contacted me. Listen, I'm on and off with this girl, and we keep getting back together, but it's reached mass, and I've done this, and she said that, and this and that and the third. Well, I advise them that just based on everything I've heard, that they will never have a good relationship. Now, I didn't tell him that he should stay with her. I didn't tell him that he shouldn't. I said, listen, if you stay with her, you're not going to have a good relationship. If you leave her, then obviously you don't have to deal with her anymore. I never tell men, or I try not to tell men in consultations what they should or shouldn't do. I simply advise guys what is likely to happen if they should continue down the path that they're currently on or if they should choose another path. I did exactly the same thing with this guy. So in the end, he ended up dumping her for good. I think she reached back out to him. I think they had sex one other time. It's just one of those deals. But he understands now. I don't know if he's with her or not. I don't know if they're getting back together or still doing the same thing. But that relationship, whether it's still ongoing or not, it's not going to be a good relationship. It just hasn't. But something he told me really got my attention, and that's sort of the genesis of this particular stream. He told me, he said, Donovan, he said, I know I got to leave this woman, and I know that I'm going to have to, get with someone else. But I want a woman I feel that same fire with. And that's when it hit me. And that brings me to my assertion. The single greatest sacrifice that a man has to make if he wants to be in a good relationship with a woman or to be in the best relationship with a woman he's ever had. The best relationship you have with a woman will not be with the woman you love the most. Let me repeat that. The best relationship you have with a woman will not be with the woman that you love the most, okay? But on the flip side, inversely, the woman you love the most, the relationship that you'll have with the woman you love the most will not be your best relationship. Listen, it might be your longest relationship, right? It might be your current relationship. Hell, I mean, it might even be your last relationship. It might even be your next relationship. But you will never have the best relationship with the woman you love the most. Now, should it be like this? Of course not. it should, having a good relationship with a woman that you are fiercely in love, or a woman that you, and I don't believe in love or love. You either love someone or you don't. To what degree depends. But we should be able to have good. We should have the luxury, or at least the privilege, of the best relationship that we've ever had, to be with the woman we love the most. But it's not like that. Now, has it always been like this? Has it always been the case that the best relationship you've ever had is with the woman that you don't love the most? Well, no. And I mean, I would go as far as to say that, I don't know, the last 60 plus years, let's just put the line of demarcation is feminism. Feminism is that was the catalyst in terms of this being true. The catalyst in terms of the woman you love the most is not the best relationship that you'll be in. Feminism, it's made women increasingly promiscuous and decreasingly useful in relationship with men. We all listen. I talk about it all the time. Women are poorly behaved. They don't make good wives, mothers, or girlfriends. They don't make good significant others. They're just, getting into a relationship with a woman these days, myself included, is highly risky. Okay. Now, it shouldn't be like this, like I said. Your best relationship should be with the woman that you love the most. Now, some guys might ask me, well, Donovan, why is it? Why is it that, and again, I'm thinking through this, and I'd like to get you guys' input on this. I'm going to open the floor for discussion here in just a second, because I'm not 100% sure of this, and shout out to whoever purchased Gorilla Mind Rush on my affiliate link. But I'm 99.9% sure of this, but I am open to having my mind at least altered on this, maybe making an amendment to this particular thing. But why is it that the more the woman you love the most will not be the best relationship you will ever be in? Well, the reason for this is the more you love a woman, the more vulnerable you are to her. And the more vulnerable you are to a woman, the easier it is for a woman to get over you. Women get over you by cheating. They get over you by branch swinging, bad behavior, mouthing off, disrespecting you, etc., etc. This isn't to say that you can't be in the best relationship you've ever had with a woman that you love, right? This isn't to say that a little bit of emotional vulnerability makes you a sitting duck. But if we know anything, the more you love a woman, the more emotionally vulnerable you are. And the more emotionally vulnerable you are, the easier it is for women to get over you. Doesn't necessarily mean she will, but it makes it easier. Now, this was certainly the case back in the day, right? Okay, so a man has his best relationship with a woman with the woman he's loved the most in his life back in 1942, right? Is he emotionally vulnerable to her? Of course, right? Could she have taken advantage? Of course, but women weren't likely to take advantage of men who were just head over heels in love with them. It happened, but it was very, very rare. But today, now in 2019, women take advantage of advantage of men all the time, and they take advantage the most of the men who love the most. And there are many reasons for this. Divorce is incentivized. There are no consequences for unprotected sex. There's paternity fraud. And listen, man, women these days, they're encouraged to engage in behaviors that are harmful to the men who love them, which is why you increase your risk the more you love a woman. Now, some guys might say, well, what about you, Donovan? You're in a relationship with Devin. Don't you love her the most? Oh, no. Guys, listen, this is the same deal. Listen, let's make no mistake. I love Devin. There's no question about it, but she's not the woman I love the most. She is like Devin. This is the best relationship I've ever had, but Devin is not the woman that I love the most. Okay, the woman that I love the most is a girl by the name of Amy. And those of you guys who have followed my content, read me, watched me, whatever, you guys know who Amy is. If you don't, go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe and figure that out. Number two, the woman that I've loved the second most is Tatiana. And this was 5 years post Red Pill Awakening. She was either Ukrainian or Russian. I don't know. Her accent sounded whatever. It was the same. But I loved her the second most. Right? Now, the reason why... Now, my relationship with Amy was terrible. And I loved her the most, so it was easier for her to get away with things. I was so emotionally vulnerable to her. She was able to, run roughshod over me, cheated on me, blah 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 blah. Now this was pre-red pill, but still, the more emotionally attached, the more emotionally vulnerable you are to a woman, the better she can take advantage of you. Tatiana, that relationship was great. It was fiery. It was passionate. The sex was great. We talked about the names of the children we're gonna have. Guys, I'm 5 years into red pill awareness, and I'm actually thinking about having kids with this girl. Right, dude? We used to send pictures of mixed babies back and forth with one another. Now, here's the thing. The thing with Tatiana, I loved her very much, and that breakup was almost as bad, almost as emotionally taxing as the one with Amy. Again, this is 5 years post red pill awakening. Now, that relationship wasn't even a relationship because, get this, guys, Tatiana was my girlfriend, but I was not her boyfriend. You see, Tatiana had a boyfriend the entire time she was seeing me. While I thought I was the boyfriend, no, I was the side dude. I had no idea until right at the very end when I caught her and all that other kind of stuff, right? I'll say it again. The relationship that I currently have right now with Devin, it is the best relationship I've ever had. Guys, listen, we have our issues just like everybody else does. But my relationship with Devin is the best and healthiest of all of them. I get that. And the reason why is because I keep her in check. I call her on her bullshit. I reprimand her bad behavior. I'm very demanding. I was none of these things with either Amy or Tatiana. And again, Tatiana was post red pill. Yes, with Amy, I didn't really have any game, but with Tatiana, I had game. I was charming. I had my expectations. I passed shit test, and I did everything right within the context of a quote unquote red pill relationship. But I didn't enforce my boundaries and expectations with her like I should have because of how much I loved her, because of my vulnerability. I actually had another consultation. I actually have another consultation client. He's a young guy. He's like 34, 35 years old. Well, long story short, he kind of sort of dated this girl. He met her when the girl was 31. She's probably 32, about to be 33 now. Head over heels in love with this girl. Well, this girl never committed to him. He wanted to be her boyfriend, but for whatever reason, she wouldn't commit. She would sleep with him, and she would have a good time with him, but she was always running off, doing something with somebody else, right? And again, this is another high value guy. Makes good money, good looking guy. Can do anything he wants, drives a nice car, nice place, blah, 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 blah. Super nice car, super nice place. But for whatever reason, this 31-year-old, post-wall chick just did not want to commit. He loved this woman very much. Well, finally, he cuts it off with the 32-year-old, and in comes this 20. Now, he's now with a 24-year-old. She's younger. She's much hotter. She takes better care of him. Dude, she takes care of his dog. She cleans his house. She does whatever he wants, whenever he wants it. Right? He keeps the 20. Now, again, she's younger and hotter, but he does not feel. He actually said this to me a few weeks back. He says, Donovan, the 24-year-old girl, she's good to me. She's a better girlfriend than the 32-year-old ever was. I wasn't even in a relationship with her, but she's so much better. But I still find myself hung up on this 32-year-old woman. Now, I don't know why it is that we love certain women more than we love others. Sometimes we just, and again, this is the perfect case. 32-year-old, 24-year-old. The 24-year-old is younger. She's hotter. She takes better care of him, but for whatever reason, he was still hung up on her. Whatever the case may be, whatever. I'm not here to, I don't know. I'm not in somebody's head. I'm not going to, I can't really talk about, I'm not going to speculate on what somebody thinks or whatever. But the reason why he keeps the 24-year-old in line the way he does is because he doesn't feel for her the way he felt for the 32-year-old. Don't get me wrong, he cares very much for her. This isn't to say that you have to be completely heartless to have a good, solid relationship with a woman. But again, the more you love a woman, the more vulnerable you are to her, the less you're able to enforce these boundaries. Now there's a theory that I have, right? And I want you guys' I want your input, whether or not you agree or disagree in the chat. Because again, I'm not 100% sure of this. This is based on my personal experience, things I've experienced myself, things I've heard. And listen, man, I've dealt with women on many levels since I was 15 years old. For more than a quarter of a century. So that's a pretty good sample size. So I'm going to put the question. I'm actually going to put this theory to you guys, and I want to get you guys' input. It is my assertion, and again, agree or disagree, and I really want to get you guys' input here. I'm open to having my mind change, but it's not going to be easy. Okay, so it is my assertion that it is impossible to enforce boundaries and expectations to the degree that is necessary to have a good relationship with a woman and keep her in line if she is the woman that you love the most. Okay, you can love the woman, you can even love her a lot, but she cannot be the woman you loved the very most in your life and enforce boundaries and expectations to the degree that is required to keep her in line. That is my assertion. Maybe she doesn't have to be, and here's the thing, right? So Amy, I've never loved anything as much as I loved her. Tatiana was close, and I still, and this is post Red Pill, Tatiana, and I still allowed her to get away with things. So I don't want to limit it to the woman you love the most. There comes a point. I think that there is a zero barrier, a line of demarcation at which you love a woman, like your feelings for a woman get to a certain point to where you will sort of involuntarily allow her to get away with certain things. You won't put your foot down like you should. And again, guys, I love Devin. I live with her. We've been together for 2 years. We have a great life together. But I don't love her as much as I love the other two girls. And for that reason, I believe that is the reason why I'm able to keep my emotions in check. And if your emotions are in check, I think you're able to keep your woman in line more. So let me go into, I'm going to pull up my phone. And for those of you who don't want to hear me interact with the chat, this is the time you should cut off the video. So I'm going to go into the video. I'm going to get the comments up here because I think this is a very interesting discussion. I think that we can have. God, my mouth is already getting dry. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. So let me do my quick shout outs. Terrence B passed the GED test Monday. Congratulations, man. Appreciate it. Mark Anthony says, nice bike. Yeah, that's my Schwinn, my little $300 Schwinn. I actually put, how many miles did I put on my Schwinn? I put on almost 14 miles. Actually, it's 15 miles. I forgot to hit the on button, but yeah. Let's see. Greener guy says, Bontrager tires. No, they're actually Schwinn tires. I don't want to get off topic. Listen, you guys know I have ADD when it comes to this stuff. That's why I try not to interact in the chat too much, so please bear with me. Rollo Tomasi's in the house. My man. All right. Mahorn, 83. James Martinez says, in love or love a woman. I don't think there's any difference between being in love with a woman or loving a woman. You either love a woman or you don't. And again, this is just based on my personal experience. Listen, guys, I'm Donovan Sharpe and I'm Captain Red Pill and all that, but guys, I know what I am and I know what I'm not. I know that if I were to ever love a woman like I loved Amy or Tatiana, guess what? Dude, my discipline, my game and all that goes right out the door. I think the reason why I've been able to be so disciplined and so straightforward and so red pill with Devin is because even though I do love her, I haven't crossed that line that just gives me that involuntary control, give her involuntary control of my emotions. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Balls Deep says these hoes ain't loyal. Rolo Tomasi says this is soulmate thinking. Rolo Tomasi says there is no one. There are good ones and bad ones, but there is no one exactly. With Devin, I got a good one. Or at least that's what it seems. And listen, for those of you guys, it's so funny, man. I always get comments. I never read the comments, and I never read the comments on my videos. I stopped reading the comments on my video forever. But I'll get comments on Facebook or Twitter. Oh, Donovan, you worship Devin, and oh, she's going to burn you. You know what? She might. Right? Listen, if I'm keeping it all the way real, I hope Devin and I have a good, long relationship, but I wouldn't be surprised if our relationship ended. Why? Because Devin's an attractive woman. Women are hypergamous. Listen, sometimes what you guys need to understand, and I don't want to get off topic here, is that, but you have to understand, you can only control what you do. if a woman doesn't want you anymore for whatever reason, she's just not going to. You can have all the game in the world. You can be Chris Hemsworth with a 10-inch dick and be worth 17 figures. Guess what? If a woman, for whatever reason, that doesn't mean that a woman is not going to love you forever. And I'm nowhere close to that. Yeah, I'm a high value guy, I make great money and all this other kind of stuff, but there are no guarantees that Devin is not gonna fall for somebody else. So for those of you guys out here thinking that I'm so invested in Devin that I would do anything to keep her, no, I do what is necessary to keep her in line. If for whatever reason it gets to a point where the bad outweighs the good on her part, I'm out of here. And she will decide if the bad outweighs the good on my. Listen, if Devin decides she wants to up and leave, she's just going to do it. There's no guarantee. All I can do is teach you guys the skills necessary to reduce the odds of getting got by a woman. That's all there is to it. There are no guarantees. I don't keep Devin under lock and key. I don't force her to do anything she doesn't want to do. She's a grown woman. She can make her own choices. Just decided to get that out of the way. Wow. So the elusive says, so you're saying that being too emotionally involved with her prevents you from being the man who keeps her hypergamy in check? I think so. Well, not hypergamy. I don't think, not who keeps her hypergamy in check, who keeps her in check. You can never, the things that, being emotionally involved has nothing to do with keeping her hypergamy in check. You keep a woman's hypergamy in check by keeping your value as high as possible or possibly even increasing your value. That's how you keep her hypergamy in check. But there's nothing that you can do to prevent hypergamy from biting you in the back. Listen, for all I know, there could be another Donovan Sharpe who lives next door, who's taller than me, makes more money than me, has more game, looks better than me. Guess what? That's the game, man. Now, it's my job to make sure that there's not another quote-unquote Donovan Sharpe out there. All I can do is keep my value as high as possible. The rest is really up to Devin and myself to keep her in line. But listen, just because I'm Donovan Sharpe doesn't mean that there aren't other guys that Devin would rather be with. That's just the way it is. Silverman, this is interesting. Silverman says, quote, my uncle told me when I was young, never give a woman your whole heart, maybe 5% or 10% of it. I agree. I'm getting a lot of good feedback here. And a technical resource says, I was raised as a very effeminated simp. I am still sad. Even though I am red-pilled, I'm still a beta. I can obviously do something about that, but that is not who I am. Yeah. Listen, it's only because you were raised that way. Deep down inside, we as men, we all have. If we were all born into like a blank society, if you just drop men and women in the woods and it's just survival of the fittest, guess what? Everybody's red pill. The women get with the biggest, strongest guys, and the men do what's necessary to keep them in line, right? Like it's funny how we assume that we are beta because that's the way we are. No, you're a man, right? And again, beta is shorthand for unattractive and all this other kind of stuff. But that's interesting what he says. Bishop X says, man, I agree with this. I tell all new husbands, never love your wife, always love your marriage. They say same thing, and it's totally not. Yeah, exactly. T21 Servers and now says, agreed, because usually the woman you love the most is the woman that crushed you. Yeah. Again, listen, I'm open to not having my mind changed, but I'm open to making some amendments, maybe some addendums to this. James Martinez asked a very good question. Are you preventing yourself from loving Devin as much due to past issues with the women you love the most? Very good. I don't think so. I think that at this point, I've been through so much that my mind, I'm getting ready to be 42 years old. Just my experiences I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't think that I actively try to keep myself from loving her anymore. You can't control your emotions. You don't control who you love, right? I would like to think that I could control my emotions around Amy, but there was no way. And with Tatiana, even during that process, I was like, okay, all right, Donovan, you're really starting to fall for this girl. You need to rein it in. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to rein it in. I'm going to play cool. Didn't work, right? So am I preventing myself from loving Devin as much? I don't think so. I just think that I just think that for whatever reason, I'm incapable of loving Devin the way I love Tatiana and the way I loved Amy, and it has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do. I think that's just the way it is. And I think that's good. Tom Brokaw says, you're right. You lose your leverage because you are more invested than her. Yeah, absolutely. JJ says, interesting, great knowledge as always. Although for me, all time consuming for me. Okay, let's see here. Silverman says, I don't want love from a woman, but respect. Yeah, this is what Steve the Dean says all the time. He's like, I don't want her love. I want her respect. Enigma WPG with the $5 super chat. I don't know what CA in front of the $5. Oh, $3.70 super chat. Okay, it looks like my iPad. Looks like YouTube on iPad automatically does the conversion for you. So, Enigma WPG with the $3.70 super chat says, this is what I meant the other day about slipping up and simping with Devin to catch yourself later. Now I understand why you don't. Exactly. Right? Like, guys, it's my detractors always say, well, you're gonna mess up one day. Shuff guard one day. No, she's not. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say that if Devin were coming right now, Donovan, sorry, that's it. Kevin in sales, blah, 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 blah. I'd be bummed about it for about a day or so, but dude, we would make arrangements. I would either kick her out or I would leave. I mean, that would life goes on. Like if Devin and I were to break up, I'm not going to sit here and say it wouldn't suck, but it would. But I'd sleep very well. I'd eat very well. When I was going through breakups with Amy and Tatiana, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I can honestly sit here and say, now it's easy for me to say that in front sight. And who knows, maybe a breakup with Devin would be a little bit tougher than I thought, but I know it wouldn't break me. At the time when I was with Amy, I knew that if we were to break up, the world would come falling down around me. I knew in my mind that with Tatiana, if it didn't work out, it was going to be a long road ahead. I knew this. I can say that with certainty. That's not going to be the case with Devin. Doesn't mean I don't love her. Doesn't mean I don't care about her. That doesn't mean that I don't hope that we have a good, long, fruitful relationship. We both elevate each other. We both elevate our lives very much. Devin and I live a great life. We travel together. We tell jokes together. The sex is good, at least for me it is. I don't know about her. I don't pretend to care whether or not she, is loving the sex. And don't get me wrong, if she's a silent chick, I'm not going to say that doesn't give me a little bit of an elevated sense of, all right, I made her do this or that or the other, but it's not the most important thing in the world. But we live a great life together. We really do. But it's not that I love Devin. I love the life we have, but I can do without it. Like, if Devin and I were to break up, I can assure you I would be just fine without her. Trust me. 305 Ryder says, who's down for the TSR Fantasy League this year? We are absolutely doing that again. Miami J is going to be putting that together for us. Gadgets says, but she can't guarantee that she will win his commitment, then she will lose you and him. I have no idea what that means. Calvin Carter says, I am learning you have to love women logically, but not emotionally, if needed just enough emotion. That's a good way to put it. Lone Revolver. Oh, wait a minute. His question went away. Hang on a second. Lone Revolver 1 with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. He says, is falling in love make you more prone to becoming beta, to have that mindset? And again, I think that love is binary. I think that you either love someone or you don't. I don't think that you love someone so much. See, a lot of guys and women like to say, well, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I don't buy into that. You either love someone or you don't. So I guess the question should be, when you say fall in love, what you really mean to say is when you love a woman like that, does it make you prone to becoming more beta? Yeah, absolutely. Again, the more you love a woman, the more emotionally vulnerable you are. The more you love a woman, the more your blue pill beta traits are going to rear their ugly head. Listen, none of us in here is red pill 100% of the time. Not even me. right? Like, dude, I fail a shit test every now and again. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, right? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm Captain fucking Red Pill 100% of the time, but yeah, to answer your question, Lone Revolver One, yeah, that's you know. I think the more you love a woman, the more vulnerable you are to letting those beta traits seep in. Good conversation. Gun Saves Life says go Redskins, and rightfully says LOL. I like Dwayne Haskins, dude. I could not believe the Giants got Dwayne Haskins. I was like, that's gonna suck, because in about 3 years he's gonna start torching us. We'll see what happens. Zebu01 says love equals nature's way to trick you into procreating. That's the comment of the day right there, man. That is the comment of the day. Okay, let's see. Nightmare wants to know, did many of your breakups make it easier each time you go through it, or do you still the one you love the least? Yeah, the more my breakup with Amy was terrible, but I've been through bad breakups before, and I guess they do. I don't know. I guess they do get progressively worse, just kind of depending upon where you are. But I will say this: my breakup with Amy was terrible because I'd never loved anything as much as I loved her. Tatiana was close because I loved her almost as much as I loved Amy. So. Tavius Soul says, what would you do if your wife declines the way you want to provide, which will save money, but would much rather work a 9 to 5 and throw your 1-year-old in daycare? I don't have an answer for that. I'm not married, nor do I have a kid. I can't advise you on something I don't have any experience with. All right, I'm going to start timing dudes out. Let's keep it on topic. Keep it on topic. Listen, I know you guys have questions about other stuff, but keep it on topic. If you have a question, put it in the chat. I want to know what you guys think about the assertion that the more you love a woman, the less you're able to keep her in line. Okay, I want to know what you guys think about the best relationship you will ever have with a woman can never be with the woman that you love the most. Jared Pinkert says, do you believe love is only a physical concept? No, love is more than just physical. Men love differently than women, but that's, whatever. MGTOW for life! Or Manosphere for life. Two Goobs says, I'm on point with this. I think I am. Listen, you guys are a very intelligent audience. I've always taken tremendous pride in the fact that you guys are I very rarely have to go Red Pill 101 with you guys. So I don't really have to, well, the definition of hypergamy, no. Like, I can speak very frankly with you guys. And this is why I posed the question to you, because I respect my audience. Dude, I don't have all the answers. You know what I mean? I think I'm right with this, but like most of the things I talk about, I'm 100% steadfast. This is how it is. Every once in a while, I'll have a concept come to mind, and I'm just like, you know what? It sounds like this is probably true, but I need other red pill perspective to sort of add dimension in the way of my thought process, and that's why I'm doing this today. Okay, let's see. Kent Jackson says, I agree. It goes to the Patrice O'Neal logic. He said something similar. Very good. Nunya Damn Biz says, the more you want, are attached or love, the more you make exceptions for that woman. I would agree. I agree, man. I agree with that 100%. And that's what this is about. Big shout out goes to Mike Kabasan, with the $10 super chat. Says, thanks for your wisdom, Donovan. I appreciate your super chat, man. The Bosky Gaming says, I'm sure if I don't know a word you use, I'll Google it. That's what Google is for. That's what Google is for. Very good statement there by Nunya Dan Biz. I think that encompasses what I'm talking about here. Bishop X says, I loved my late ex madly, but when she needed me, I was more in control of the relationship and things were fine. When I lost my edge, it went south. But the level of love never changed. If there's a guy out there who can apply, because this used to happen back in the day all the time. Men back in the day, they were with the woman that they have loved the most. They've never loved a woman as much as they loved the woman that they were with. They have kids with them, madly in love, but they were able to keep her in line. He was able to reprimand her. He was able to put her feet to the fire, set boundaries, manage expectations, etc., even though she was the woman he loved the most. It's not like that these days. You cannot do that with women these days. And I said this the other day when I was in Florida. Women have always had plenty of options. The difference between 2019 and 1919 is that women are now aware of what those options are, number one. And number two, women have access to those options, right? Women have always had plenty of options with plenty of men. But thanks to the smartphone, women are now aware of and can now act on the attempted consolidation on the highest value men available to them. That's what makes this tough. MGTOW Maniac says the problem isn't women are hypergamous, it's that masculinity has been denied of the many boys growing up. I think that's part of it. Son of a Panthus says, love is a man's kryptonite. You will lose all your superpowers to defeat the enemies in your life. Your woman should only be a helpmate, not a love match. I agree. Devin helps me a lot with my show. Dude, she built my website. She's very instrumental in some of the operations, but she's not, again, it's weird. Like, I just realized that. Like, I love Devin, but I don't love her as much as I've loved those other two women. And I don't think it's close. That's the only reason why I'm able to put my foot down with her. I truly believe that. I think that's the only reason why I'm able to really just put my foot down and be like, yo, cut the shit, right? Yo, you need to do this, right? You need to say why. I think that's the only way. Chaz Ram says you have to put women in their place regardless. It won't make a difference. Most women are not relationship material. Captain Obvious. Chaz Ram wants to be Captain Obvious. Two Goobs says current partner was not my first choice while dating, but she blew the other girls out of the water with her femininity. Okay. I'm Inevitable says a man's judgment can get clouded when in love. Man, I'm trying to tell you. Extra Income says what you're saying is absolutely true. I went through something similar. Great sound. This is how loud your podcast should be. Well, yeah, I'm using the earbuds. D. Wee says you must realize that women are incapable of unconditional love. You have to try to love from a distance, but it's hard. Yeah, women are not capable of unconditional love, guys. Women love their pets unconditionally, and they love their children unconditionally. They do not love men unconditionally. And this is a good thing for men, believe it or not. Sean Hensley says, maintaining frame is far too much work. Maybe it is for you. Wizard Praying's in the house. He says, Donovan, I am that guy. Lauren P. says, let them come and go as they please. If the relationship no longer serves you and your purpose, women should be the complement, and not the focus of your life. Your mission and purpose is the priority. Yeah, absolutely right. Only again, the more emotionally attached you become to a woman, the more difficult that becomes. And I think And I think there is a line of demarcation. I think that there is a level of emotional connection. There is a level of love you reach at some point with a woman where you can no longer maintain frame, and that's the crux. Richard Epps says, I don't know, but then again, hell no. I have no children, no property with any individual whatsoever, so that's just great. No rekindling of nothing, none. Being an alpha isn't all that bad. So Richard Epps just told us that he's not an alpha. Like, dude, don't come in here and act like you're a captain fucking alpha, dude. Come on, get out of here with that. Like, listen, it's all right, give your opinion, but dude, don't come in. Well, I only sleep with nines and tens, being an alpha, dude. Come on, come on. I don't allow grandstanding. Pug Dad with the $5 super chat says, check with your TSR administrator. Sent a video. I'm sure you'll want to do a story on. I'm in on the fantasy. Like, all right, all right. All right, very good. All right, guys, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this another few minutes because I need to eat lunch. Jared Pinkert says, if love is more than a physical concept, by proxy, love is more than only nature's way of procreation and more than a biological process, then isn't love a multidimensional state of being or action? Jared, bruh, you're out thinking the room, man. You're out thinking the room, dude. What? Like, seriously? Dude, this is TSR Live. This isn't philosophy class. You either love a woman or you don't, right? Come on. And in order for a man to love a woman, he does have to be physically attracted to her. Now, I have been physically attracted to many women. Doesn't mean that I love them. But if I've ever fallen in love, or if I've ever loved a woman, the number one prerequisite is that I have to be physically attracted to her. Jesus Christ, this dude went all crazy. Procreation, multi-dimensional state of, oh God, Jesus Christ. Listen, I'm sure that's a good question. Dude, I'm not smart enough to answer that. Holy moly. Woo. Dude, Jared, you're giving me a headache over here, man. Damn, what a question. So Nunu M, shout out from South Africa, appreciate that. Super Victory Alliance says maybe it's not that you don't love Devin as much. Maybe you were just more in control with your emotions. Even if it is subconscious, that's a possibility. That is a possibility because Devin certainly has the physical, and I don't know. I think the level of love a man has for a woman, I think, speaking to Jared's point, correct me if I'm wrong, Jared. I'm not that smart to do the kind of mental gymnastics, but I think any man who has been head over heels in love with a woman and would do anything with a woman, I think a lot of times that's directly correlated with her physical aestheticness. In other words, the more beautiful a woman is, the more men tend to love her. And Devin is, and again, Devin's a 7. She's not an 8, a 9, or a 10. She's a 7. She's a 6 in the face, 6.5 on a good day. She's got the body of an 8, 8.5. But her overall attractiveness, her overall attractiveness is Devin's overall attractiveness capable of making me love her like I loved Amy and Tatiana? Yeah, sure. But by the same token, I think what the guy just said, what Super Victory Lion just said, I think that might be right. Maybe I'm just more in control of my emotions, and maybe because it's subconscious, I don't realize that I'm doing it. That's actually quite profound. Priceman5 says, thanks for everything you do, Donovan. About to go through a divorce, and I wish I had found you sooner. Better late than never, brother. Better late than never. Corey Burks with the $10 super chat. He says, I speak for most when I say we want to see you collab with Tommy Sotomayor. I don't even know how to get a hold of Tommy Sotomayor. I suppose I could reach out to him. I mean, listen, Tommy's a smart guy. Yeah, I don't mind doing collabs with certain people. I've done collabs with some creators. Some creators I will continue to do collabs with. Some creators I won't. But yeah. Tommy's a smart guy. He knows what's up. Big Time Maniac says sevens are hot. KNG Tubb says, new subscriber, been watching your videos for the past 5 hours. Wow, keep it up, brother. Appreciate that. Always good to have somebody in here who is binge watching. Cannon Wild says, emotional connection is a killer. I'm trying to tell you. Big Time Mania says, six is borderline, but a sweet personality fixes that. Yes, I would partially agree with that. None you damn biz says, head over heels in love is more lust, projection, and sometimes timing. Dude, I agree with that. I agree, man. I think if a man is just what we call head over heels, oh, I can't stop thinking about her, I'll do anything for her, I think that is directly correlated with a woman's attractiveness level. I don't think you could be head over heels in love with a 6 unless you've never been with someone more attractive than a 6, right? Like, I've had sex with more 9s and 10s than I can even count. So maybe the reason, maybe that has sort of spoiled me to the point to where, okay, Devin's a 7, she's got a great body. Maybe that's, I don't know, but that's a very good point. Chris Von Erich's in the house. A deck of cards says, nah, you should realize that women are a luxury, not a necessity. Yep, there's another Captain Obvious. Another Captain Obvious. Thank you, Derek, thank you, A Deck of Cards, for pointing that out. I did not know that women were a luxury, not a necessity, because I haven't said that 100 times. Pug Dad wants to see that collaboration. Richard Epps says he doesn't need a good girlfriend right now. He said, I just need good grades. I don't know. Nice story, bro. Was that a sneak tip dig? No, I guess not. Never mind. Listen, I don't know how the kids talk these days. I'm an old man. Who knows? Dark Prophet 2 says, I think it has more to do with our natural attraction. I think we are more prone to falling in love with people who aren't wives. I've experienced this sort of thing twice. Yeah, okay. Maybe. Loving you is easy because you're beautiful. The song says it all. Yeah, that makes... Listen, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to love a woman who is beautiful than a woman who is not. Yep, Zebu101 says, men fall in love with beauty, feminine, the false idea. Yeah, exactly. No man has ever fallen head over heels in love with a woman with a beard. I'm sorry. JB says, thank you, Donovan Sharpe. I almost put the cape on for single mom of 5. Oh, from 5 different baby daddies. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. I thought I had another super chat to shout out. Oh, no, I didn't. A deck of cards says, it's said that we fall in love with the perfect woman in our hearts, so could that be why we're so vulnerable? I don't know. I suppose it could be. Alex D says, come on, bro, we're not old, we're in the middle. I got a few gray hairs. Actually, I actually just dyed my beard, so I don't have too many gray hairs now. Super Victory Lion says, well, if you know you can get 9s and 10s, and your feelings for Devin make perfect sense. You love like the other two, but now you're yeah, listen, the fact that I've had, and again, and I'm just working through this, I think the fact that I've had success with far more attractive women with Devin makes me far less susceptible to her wiles, right? Her attempts, and because women are going to try to manipulate you for whatever reason. Devin's tried to manipulate me. She's a woman, this is what she tries to do. She tried it a lot in the beginning, she couldn't do it. That's part of the reason why she fell for me, right? But I think that my success with far more attractive women than Devin prepared me for this relationship with either her or whoever I end up with in the future. Mr. Jackson says, got your recommended morning routine of Gorilla Mind Rush and 4 Sigmatic Mushroom Coffee, legit combination. I got another 5 boxes of the coffee. I'm actually going to go down and get it after this live stream and have my lunch. Yohibiyab with the $5 super chat says, hate feeling like some other guy has gotten somewhere in life that I've dreamed about getting to, getting older, and feel positions being taken out. Ooh, James, man. God damn. James Martinez asked a very good question. This is the last question I'm going to answer. He says, does loving that woman the most hold a man back from being the best man he can be? I think it does. I think it does. I'm not saying that you should look for a woman that you have absolutely no emotional connection with, right? I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that if you're looking for that, if you're looking to have a long-term relationship with a woman that you have that spark, that fire with, that's torrid, you can't get enough of her, it's not going to work out, man. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. All right, guys. That is going to do it for this edition of, I guess, TSR. My thanks to Yohiab with the $5 super chat. Also, Corey Burks with the $10 super chat. Pug Dad with the $5 super chat. I'm going to definitely get with my assistant and find out what's going on with the video you sent. And Mike Kabasin with the $10 super chat. Lone Revolver 1 with the $1 super chat. I'm sorry, with the $5 super chat. Jesus. Enigma WPG with the $3.70 super chat. Thank you to all of my super chatters. I appreciate it. I will be back in the studio on the air tomorrow. I'll probably start somewhere between 12:30 and 1 p.m. Thursday and Friday shows, guys. If you thought Monday and Tuesday shows were good, man, I'm going to just tune in. Don't miss it. Tell your friends. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate the super chats.